Hi gang, Donna here. Today I am reviewing a deck that, contrary to what, some people say, is that you need your deck to be gifted to you in order to read. Otherwise, there's problems. Well, that's not true, but this deck was gifted to me. It was gifted to me by a client. I had done something for her and she was very appreciative and she wanted to know what deck I wanted. So I was like, okay. So I said at the time that I wanted this deck, and I do like it. This deck is actually a personal deck. It sits in my office. I do not read with it publicly, but it's a fun deck. So it is the Everyday Witches Tarot. And it comes in a lovely box, like most. It's got a nice magnetic closure. And yes, it's got the little string to pull the cards out, and the cards do not reside in this box. Nope. The cards reside, like I said, in another box, in a bag, in my office. There's also a lovely guidebook that comes with it. And the guidebook is in color. It's not your normal black and white book. It's in color. It has images of the card. It's got about the artist, about the author. And then, first chapter 1 is about the deck and how to use it and how to do a reading. And then common questions answered, some tarot extras. And then we go into the actual cards. So, like I said, it's a fabulous book. I mean, look at this. Look at the beauty of it. So when we talk about things, about books, this is like one of the best books I've seen. As far as talking about doing a reading, it's very explanatory, which is nice. Because everybody does their readings differently. My readings are going to be different than somebody else's readings. And even if you're taught by a person, it's still going to be different. So, common questions and answers is in here. What is a clarifier and how should you use one? Let's see what else it's got in here. Some tarot extras, 3 spells for use with the tarot. That's something that I haven't talked about. I have a spell book, a tarot spell book. So, that is in cleansing and a cleansing spell for used cards. So when you get your cards, what you should do to cleanse them, which is nice. A spell for a good reading. So those were the 3 spells. And then we have the major arcana. And the interesting thing is they give you the description of the upright version. And then we go into things to consider. So it's like it gives you chapter 3, major arcana, the Fool. And then we go into detail and it shows you the Fool. And it's like the things to consider. And then it tells us a little bit more. And then the Magician. And throughout the book, we have these little sections where you can write your notes. So it's a very useful tool. It's not just something that you're going to put aside and never look at again. You're going to use the book and you're going to continue to use it. And as we get to the back of the book, we have spreads. So we have a 1-card spread. We have a 3-card spread. The infamous Celtic cross, which most readers use, and most people learn how to do the Celtic cross. Although the Celtic cross here is slightly different in the overall picture of it, because there's no crossing card, at least not in the imagery. And so then it gives you a conclusion. So it's a nice book, and then even the back is, so it's a nice stock, nice thick book. And the cards, well, the cards are just darn adorable. Especially, the back end. The back end, we have the little black cat, we have the witch's hat, we have the broom, and the stars. Stars, of course. So, when we look at them, most of them, yes, have a witch or a warlock. The 5 of Swords, is kind of amusing because there's chaos. 5 of Pentacles, while we have the traditional walking, begging-looking card, it's a little bit more forlorn looking at the house, like, are they going to help? The 3 of Cups is a traditional. The Queen of Wands. Now, sometimes the Queen of Wands is all about, being in power. She kind of looks, whatever. She just looks like she's over it. Death. Well, death is kind of interesting because it's like the knife is there ready to cut the string, the one string that you're hanging on by. And that can be life sometimes. The Empress I like because it's, the mother goddess, basically. She's impregnated. So, like most cards, I mean, most times the Empress is pregnant, but it's like this one is nurturing that embryo or the fetus in the womb. So, it's a little bit because of the garden scene around it, there's a little bit difference to it, a more natural state to it. Whereas some empresses are not necessarily that. You know, the Gilded, we have the Empress who's looking all sexy and you know, she's not looking pregnant. She's not looking motherly. She's looking very vivacious and like, I'm in my divine feminine. And there's nothing wrong with that. The Magician I'm amused by because, yes, there's a black cat. The Hangman, he's hanging by a broom. What better way to have him? And the King of Wands is kind of, you know, he's consulting his familiar on which way to go. The Moon, you know, the Moon is cute because you have the black cat looking in the water and he sees himself as the panther, and then you have the witch going through the moon. The Hierophant is a great one too because it's yoga. It's all about being in your Zen space. The Knight of Cups, now, when I look at the Cosmic Tarot, the Knight of Cups is just a shady-ass player. But the Knight of Cups here is something innocent. He's making bubble hearts, you know? I mean, this is Prince Charming. This is somebody who's coming in, and he may not have much, but he's got everything you need. And the Chariot, motorcycle mama. The Devil is kind of amusing because he looks like something you would find in Harry Potter. You know, it doesn't look like something that you would traditionally think of the devil, and he's got your vices there. The Page of Wands, which way are you going to go? Three of Wands is a little bit different than the traditional, but you're still longing at that shoreline. Page of Swords. The Queen of Pentacles is the wise crone. The Four of Wands, while it's the traditional celebration, it's a little different because it's not so much about family, it's about your coven. And the King of Swords is giving direction. Temperance to me is awesome because Temperance I always look at as being balanced, and she's got one eye open, and even though she looks like she's, you know, doing her yoga pose, and she's not fully invested in it. Ace of Swords. The Four of Cups. He's kind of worn down looking at what am I going to do. Six of Wands. There's your victory. You're welcoming home. Seven of Cups. Page of Cups. The Ten of Cups is all about your happy family. Your Six of Cups is the traditional, pretty much, of the kid. And the Three of Swords is a little bit different because you still have the heart with the Three of Swords, but you have an empty bed, you have an open window, so there's a lot of different moving pieces there. The Nine of Cups is another Zen-like state. And the Ace of Pentacles, normally it's about stability, but this is more about look at where I have, look what I'm going, you know, look what I'm doing. The Hermit, meditation. The Queen of Cups, once again, we look like we have another pregnant card, and that's okay. So, I mean, this is what I talk about the art of tarot, because there's slight tweaks to the interpretations of these cards. The Ten of Wands, there's your overburden, you know, that's very similar to the traditional meaning. Knight of Pentacles, strength. You know, she's tamed the lion. Wheel of Fortune, you know, who hasn't seen this kind of wheel before? Six of Swords. The Two of Cups is really sweet because you have both witches, witch and warlock, and they're sitting there on the beach and they're enjoying each other. The Sun, it's the family dancing around. The Seven of Wands, once again, this time though we actually do have hands, so it's not necessarily you beating yourself up. There's actually people pointing those wands at you. Normally you don't see the hands, you just see the wands coming at you. The Lovers is more about the spiritual thing. And it's funny because I had friends that I went to their event, their solstice event one year. And my husband and I went, we weren't together at the time, we were just friends. And we were jumping the cauldron. And the one woman who was hosting looks at me and she says, "Be careful who you jump the cauldron with because you're bound with them." I'm like, yeah, okay. Well, needless to say, we did jump the cauldron, and yes, we did end up together. So, you know, when I look at the Lovers, I kind of think of that moment because, yeah, that can happen. When you're sitting there doing that magical work, that can happen. So the Four of Swords has us resting. And the Eight of Wands, well, what the hell have you done? Seven of Swords, there's your thief. The Two of Pentacles, all about your balance. Five of Wands, convening with your friends and discussing. The Nine of Swords, he's charging into battle. Two of Wands. Now, it's kind of interesting because it's got the world, you know, he's holding the world in his hands, but it's a little different. Oh, a favorite of mine. Seven of Pentacles. But here's the thing. She's actually harvesting. She's not just sitting there. She's actually harvesting. And the Ace of Cups, her cup runneth over. And, of course, we have the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords, the cat is touching those swords like, come on, this isn't real. And she's bound and helpless. The Ten of Pentacles, once again, your happy family. The Eight of Cups, you're walking away. I got my broom, I'm going. Justice, while it may be blind, she's peeping out from the blindfold, and you have both black and white, so positive and negative energy. The Star, look at the magic she weaves. Nine of Pentacles, peace, relaxation. The Emperor, the Horn God. Judgment, being free and being happy. Followed by the Nine of Swords, where you're not quite so happy. And the Nine of Wands, you're shell-shocked. The King of Cups, he sits on an island all by himself. And the Queen of Swords, well, she's a crone and she's got better insurance than you do. It's the Kathy Bates of the card. The High Priestess. The Four of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles. And here's your generosity for this Six of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles I like because he's flipping a coin. Which way do I go? How do I pursue this? The Eight of Pentacles, you know, while this is usually the apprentice, it's like she's doing her work. She's doing her spell work. The World, being carefree and enjoying it. Two of Swords. Yeah, she's blindfolded and she's throwing the sword and, you know, she's got this. So are you on target? The Three of Pentacles, how are you creating things? The Ace of Wands, well, there's magic and chaos. The Knight of Wands, are you ready to go slay the dragon? Oh, and of course, our favorite, the Ten of Swords. And it's like he's reaching for his broom. How do I get out of this? He's looking for his way out. He's not defeated. The Tower, well, yeah, I blew that bitch up and look at me. And then, of course, the last card, should be the first card, is the Fool. About to walk off that cliff. But here's the thing about this Fool. She's got a broom between her legs. So in Witchy Land, that would mean she's about to take flight. So there's no risk. It's calculated risk. She's thinking that broom's going to work, and that's fine. So, do I like the deck? Well, let's just say it has been used. And this is, like I said, something I do in private. Shuffling. Shuffles well. The cardstock quality is nice. So overall, yes, this is one of my favorite decks. Like I said, I do it for my personal readings. I really don't read it for the daily, even though I may do it since it's down here now, not in the office. But it's one of my favorite decks, and I think that other people would enjoy reading from it. I think if you like the little witchy stuff, you'll definitely like it. It's a good quality deck. Deborah Blake is the artist on it. Or, excuse me, she's the author of it. And Elisabeth, Alba, is the artist. But they did a fine job, and it's really nice. So I would definitely recommend it, and I hope you enjoyed the review. If you liked it, comment, and check out my other ones. There's like, I think 4 or 5 up now, maybe 6. And I'm going to keep doing them. So I hope you enjoy them, and let me know what you think. Take care, guys, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.